All right, John Hansen here with Marcus Guerrero from Old School Labs. We just got out of the Pittsburgh Pro, the very first Pittsburgh Pro. Very, very close contest. Derek Lunsford, Nick Walker tied at the night show, and Derek pulled it off. What'd you think, Marcus?
Not gonna lie, I'm shocked. I was excited to see both of them battle it out. The fact that it was the first time in history they brought them out again. It was a tie, then it was a tie again. So I'm not sure if they said that on a live stream, but it was a tie after the final. So it's like we got an overtime. Honestly, that's what it felt like. So seeing Derek pull it off in overtime was it was a crazy victory. I'm not gonna lie, I thought Nick had it.
Yeah, well, a lot of other people did too, and it was a very close decision. Seemed like the crowd was more for Nick tonight. He, kind of an East Coast guy because he's from New Jersey. So, but Derek pulled it off. I think it was just Derek's better overall shape. And I think Nick might have been a little bit harder condition. I think Derek wasn't as hard at this show as he was for the Olympia, but just his overall V shape and his overall better condition, aesthetics. I think that's why he pulled it out over Nick.
So do you think it was a clear victory for Derek?
No, it wasn't a clear victory, but it was a victory, and I think he was the better guy, as I said after the prejudging. And I think it was a deserving win, and 2 wins for him now in a row, and now he's going for the Olympia.
Going for that triple crown.
Yeah.
It was such a beautiful thing to see to me, honestly. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I really thought at the end there, seeing the hardness, seeing the overall just quality that Nick brought, I was very happy to see that.
Yeah.
I honestly thought it almost felt like they were trying to wait till Nick, kind of phased out a little bit. Honestly, that's how I felt. I felt like they were trying to wait for him to phase out, and he didn't. He looked good till the end. So, I was rocking with Nick. I'm not going to lie. I thought Nick was going to win it. I still think it's I think we're going to have to see the Gilco production pictures and all that and the comparisons from NPC and, maybe get some better detail. But we had great seats. We were there. We were live. And it was a close battle.
Yeah, it really
very
was.
close. Clearly, I know a lot of people are going to pick their side, left or right, Nick or Derek, but it was close. It was close.
Yeah. Well, Ali Bilal, we just saw him in the men's physique.
Yeah,
he
backstage.
made a good point. He said, you can't have a guy who just beat Mr. Olympia lose to Nick Walker. And that's a good point.
But imagine what that would have done to this upcoming Olympia.
Yeah.
I know you have to have the best man win. And I understand it's all it's just how we feel about it. The judges, obviously, the judges made their call, but why couldn't Nick win? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I understand what Bilal is saying, but why couldn't Nick win this one?
Well, I think Nick winning would have been a more popular decision, especially with this crowd, because I think the crowd was more for Nick.
Yeah.
But you got to give the judges credit. The judges just picked the best guy, whoever it is. And I think Derek just got that better overall aesthetics. Aesthetics is part of bodybuilding, symmetry and shape, So it's not just hardness, it's not just muscle. And Nick's definitely got the muscle. He came in hard condition.
He does.
And it was a victory for Nick because he came back from, missed 2 Olympias.
Yeah.
He had a New York Pro Show last year that a lot of people thought Martin Fitzwater could have won. He only won by 1 point.
Yeah.
So he really pushed Derek. He really made a great comeback. And I think he's going to probably be at the New York Pro. He doesn't know yet, but I think he's going to be there.
I think he's going to smash the New York Pro, to be honest.
Yeah.
I know there's going to be a lot of heavy hitters going there, but personally, you mentioned the hardness, that muscle. And I think that's the great thing about this, kind of my interjecting to the old school labs, the old school, new school, and all that, because obviously I was kind of raised on the muscle, the mass guys, you know what I'm saying? Coming out of the 90s into the early 2000s, we saw these people who were just, they had that mass, they had that crazy mutant-like shape to where I can tell, I don't know if to call it a bias or not, but I tend to lean towards, I thought Nick won. And I know it's because I think we can look back at Prague when it came to Martin and your boy Chris Bumstead. Yeah. And I know you fight for Chris Bumstead winning that one. And I just feel like, for me personally, I thought Nick had it. I was a fan of the hardness, the overall graininess, that look. I think he was right there, especially with shots that we thought he was going to get blown out of the water.
Yeah.
That back double, it looked close. There was a lot of depth there. There's a lot of definition showing.
Yeah.
And I was just, I'm curious to how it's going to go down as far as, for the future. But I do think that Nick is I think he could have deserved the win. I really do.
A lot of other people do too, so it was really close. So we had Martin Fitzwater in 3rd place, and I actually thought William Bonac pushed him hard for 3rd. I thought Bonac looked better tonight. I thought Martin looked not as good as he did at the prejudging, so I thought that was very, very close.
Honestly, I couldn't agree more. I literally told my girl, I whispered to her, do not let me forget to mention how shocked I was with William.
Yeah.
I was so shocked with William. I mean, shout out to the Conqueror. I mean, arguably could have got third.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Martin. That dude is just pushing the limits. But, dude, William, I mean, that was my highlight for me personally.
Yeah.
That was my highlight. William Bonac was my highlight. I'm telling you, if you've not seen William Bonac in person, you got to come to one of these shows. You have to see him in person.
Yeah,
it's different.
The denseness of his muscle really stands out when you see him in person.
Yeah, it's literally, it's one of the few that I see that it's like, whoa, this is not normal. You know, it's just something about it. It's like a frame that's just been packed to full capacity. Like there's no, he can't fit room for anything else.
Exactly,
you know, you can't fit room on that frame. So
and he had the hardness too.
Yeah,
hardness, the fullness, and the density. Yeah.
I was shocked. So how did you feel about the 3 and 4, Martin and William? Do you think it was right? Where are you at with that?
Yeah, I mean, Martin's great. You know, he looked really good at the prejudging, and I think he was a clear third at the prejudging, but I think William looked better tonight. Not that much time in between prejudging and night show, but he looked better. And Martin just kind of looked like mentally deflated. Like he knew, obviously he knew he wasn't in the top 2.
Yeah.
And I think he went into the show hoping he was going to pull off a win, so that was kind of a disappointment for him. But hopefully he'll be back. Great physique. Put on some extra muscle, but I just think he wasn't in the hard condition he was at the Olympia last year, and that's why he dropped down.
I could agree. I think that we kind of saw it in Martin, especially at the end, especially in the posing round. I mean, it's routine. We didn't see that same spark, but I think, like I said, I hate to say anything that could have a negative connotation behind it. You know what I mean? Because it's like, this dude is pushing the limits. I mean, he's one of the youngest ones up there.
Yeah.
And he's fighting it for top 3. He was top 3,
Yeah.
So all respect due to Martin, man. Martin is I was so just, it's different in person. That's the one takeaway I want everybody to go with is just like, it's so different in person. What we see in person, it's very different. You're not seeing this, even with the Gilco production, all these great production that they have from, the just bodybuilding nowadays, you're really not seeing the detail, the depth, the density. We see with a lot of these guys when they turn, there's this crazy density, and there's something to be said and respected about it.
Right. Yeah, he's got to come back in the condition he was at the Olympia, and if he does that, I mean, he'll be right back up there. So.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I heard from other podcasts that he was looking crazy last week, so I think they probably just carved him up a little bit, filled him out a little bit too much, and he lost some of that detail, and he just doesn't have it.
Do you think he'll go to the New York Pro?
I think he should, yeah. Because if it was just a dieting issue, I mean, he could fix that in a couple days.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Do you think he could battle that with Nick at the New York Pro? Do you think there could be that rematch?
Maybe. Yeah, anything's possible, yeah. If he comes in hard condition, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like he's miles away now, but you never know what can happen.
I mean, that's another thing. Yeah, that's exactly what you just said. You took the words from my mouth. A week can change so much.
If it's just if he just overdid his carbs and he's holding water, then once you lose that water, you can make a miraculous change. I've done it myself.
Yeah. I mean, exactly. Firsthand.
Yeah.
I think that when we see the top 2 call-outs, I think that is something they need to bring back to bodybuilding. I think that's something I love. Sometimes we see the Arnold do it and things like. I love the fact that Pittsburgh did that. Shout out to Pittsburgh Pro because we got to see the 3 and 4, Martin and William, and then of course we got to see Nick and your boy Derek alone.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it's all about. That we see the real detail. They put them, I mean, what was it, like almost like 4 or 5 times they ran?
At least. They did it a couple times tonight, yeah.
And I was so shocked. I was so shocked at the fact that, like, all of them, they kept their composure. Nobody looked off when it came to 3rd and 4th round in. Yeah, they all came ready.
Steve's the head judge. They know they're going to have to go through that.
Oh, yeah. So. Yeah, they're going through the ringer, and they came ready to show. I will say that.
Yeah.
Now, what about your boy, Michael Kriz? Samir's boy at this point. Your boy Kriz, though. He was a little late to the finals.
Yeah.
I don't know if they showed that, but he was late.
Yeah, he almost got kicked out.
That was shocking to me, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, he's still got some work to do, for sure.
Yeah.
He's got physique work to do. I think he needs to bring his back up when he does that front double by. Needs more glutes, So, yeah, I think he just needs more work on his physique,
I agree. I mean, I will say this. When he came to each side and did the most muscular, I'm not going to lie. It looked, the IG bodybuilder, that extra saturation, the sharpness, I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw it with my own eyes in person. I mean, to be really honest, I saw it. Like, it was crazy looking.
Yeah.
When he does his most muscular, the amount of muscle that is showing, it's a lot of detail. A lot of
when you
detail.
see him in pictures, you can't believe that he doesn't win a show. And
Yeah.
then when you see him on stage, it's a different look.
Yeah, but there was that most muscular. That's the one shot where I see it. I see a glimpse of the online, social media, Michael Krizo.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just got to bring up some certain body parts, and he's just got to project it more. He's got to have a better posing routine. He's definitely got to work on his posing more for sure.
Oh yeah, 1,000%. I mean, put it this way. I mean, you could have had somebody like a Leandro come in and really take the next spot. The amount of foundation he had, I mean, that guy has a future.
Yeah.
He has a future. I mean, the future is now, and that's the one thing I love about the current bodybuilding. I always want to say this. I want to be the one to term whatever era of bodybuilding this is. Like, I want to try to do that. We got the golden era. We got all that. I think we see just the mark of a new era. Yeah. I really do.
That'd be great. Yeah.
All respect to the classics, all respect to the old school, but I think we see that happening before our eyes. I mean, we have some heavy hitters here, and I think that, like, a beautiful thing about it is we're gonna, like, I know right now that we probably have a little bit of a difference in, like, how we perceive it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that's the beautiful thing about bodybuilding, the artistry of it, is because, like, I'm gonna take someone like Nick or like a William and see that hardness and that graininess, and I'm gonna put that on a pedestal. I know that, to where I know, like, the aesthetic, that real old school mentality, and it's with the new school. And I think that's the one thing that's great about Martin. He's like, hey, I'm gonna bring that old school aesthetic to the classic modern day bodybuilding. Yeah. And I think we can all have a love for that coming from, like, old school
he's got
abs.
the shape and symmetry. He just needs to bring in a little more size and then just come in really rock hard condition.
Yeah. The future is bright for him.
Oh yeah, for sure.
100%. I think the future is bright. Now, who is your one standout? If you had to pick just like who knocked, maybe obviously someone like a Derek, we almost expected it, especially coming after the Arnold. Who is somebody, no matter where, it could have even been in Classic, somebody who really just, shocked you?
Well, Nick brought it. I mean, Nick had a lot to lose. He had a lot of pressure, a lot of stress because he was coming back from he missed 2 Olympias and a bad showing last year, so he really needed to bring it, and he did. Yeah. So I think that was one of the highlights of the show for me, was seeing that.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah. I couldn't agree. Between that and William, those two were highlights for me. I was just pleasantly shocked and surprised with everything. Yeah. Seeing William in person, and then, of course, Nick. I mean, coming. I mean, like I said, Mother's Day, we had Mama Walker in the crowd too, going off. I can't. It's just I feel like the little wrestling fans, WCW, WWE. Like, that's what I feel like when I'm watching this. I see it. I look at the crowd. I pan over there, and I'm just like, the kid in the candy store, man. I'm excited. It's hard not to be excited.
Well, you mentioned Classic, so we should mention Terrence Ruffin came back. He took a year off, and he came back much improved.
Yes.
And he won. I think it was a close decision with him and the other guy who got second.
Was.
Yeah.
Very close.
So he's got great potential, really great shape. I think he was 6th in his first Olympia last year.
Oh, so, wow. That's come up.
Yeah. So, but Terrence, amazing physique. Great to see him back on the stage again. Yeah. One of the best posers in bodybuilding, period.
Man.
So just an awesome poser.
We got to take a second to just, spread some love just for the posing that we saw, especially with Terrence. Oh, my. I mean, everybody in Classic really killed it.
Yeah, I think in Classic overall, they do a better job with the posing. They definitely work on it more. Yeah. But when he comes out, he's like a master, and he just put everybody else to shame. So
100%. It reminds me it was very Breon Ansley-esque. The fact, like, he did this one move, and I'm going to butcher it and embarrass myself, but he did this little thing like that and just kept it. And I was just, it flowed. Yeah. It was just artistry. We saw, like, poetry in motion. Yeah. You know what I mean? We really did. And that right there is just what it's all about to me, man.
He learns a lot from Lee Labrada. He studied Lee Labrada, so that's why he's so good.
Yeah, that old school, man. That's what we needed. We need it because it's where it started. That's why I love the Classic Physique division, is because it's bringing back that mentality.
Right.
So, I mean, even down to men's physique. It was pretty shocking, like everything.
Aaron Banks came back and won.
Yeah. How'd you feel about that one?
Good. He looked good. I thought Brendan Hendrickson in 4th was. I thought he'd do better. I was surprised
shocked
to see that. Yeah.
I was shocked myself.
I didn't see the prejudging, so I don't know. I didn't see what happened there. So
I saw the prejudging, and then there was the Ed Von Palmera. They had him center stage the whole time. Yeah, so I was pretty shocked about that, like the outcome. I thought he looked really well. There was so much conditioning going on there, so much shred. Yeah. But, I mean, I think for me, seeing Brandon drop to 4th was pretty crazy. But I think men's physique is cool because we see so many shifts in men's physique. We see them go from 5th. We don't necessarily see it too much, except for like with Rami when it comes to men's open. Yeah. Those types of drops. But I think we see that quite often in men's physique, and it just goes to show how packed that division is. Well,
Oh yeah,
you know,
a lot of great winners there. All right, we're going to wrap it up here. We will be back next week at the New York Pro Live. We'll be there at the prejudging and night show.
Yeah.
And Samir Bannout, Mr. Olympia, will be here joining us. So it's going to be a great
Shout out to
show.
Samir.
So check us out next week. For Marcus Guerrero and John Hansen, we are signing out from the first ever Pittsburgh Pro. See you next week.
Keep it old school.